Hello and welcome to my channel. I am Jerzy Górecki,
the one and only,
and I love bicycle touring. There's nothing quite like it when it comes to experiencing total freedom and learn about the real world. The bicycle moves on your power and it can pretty much go where you want it to go. Of course, for something to happen on your own power, you must first have energy to burn, and that's where proper nutrition is so important. For bicycle touring, this can be especially challenging because you're away from home. The things you know to work for you, favorite foods, and the way you conveniently prepare them in your own home are likely not available. You have to find ways to work around that, and your storage capacity is very limited. In this video, I'm sharing things I've learned over many thousands of kilometers with my loaded touring bike. I also talk about mistakes I've made and those easy to fall into traps. Please be advised that I'm not a certified nutritionist. I'm simply sharing things I've learned through experience that were confirmed by the occasional research on the subject. Let's jump right in by talking about your appetite when you're on tour. Have you ever noticed how good stuff tastes when you're on an extended bicycle tour? Your body is trying to tell you something. It means you need to eat more, simply because you burn more. This is really the most simple equation of all of them, and yet it's so easy to forget. Ever wonder why ice cream runs are so popular with cyclists? Not that there's anything wrong with that. However, ice cream is lacking a lot of the nutrients you need. If you tried to meet your additional energy needs with ice cream only, you'd likely feel like crap just a few days into your tour, and you'd probably enjoy it far less. The ice cream, of course. Well, and the tour. Eating enough quality foods requires you to be intentional about it. Make a plan so you'll know what to look for. You'll need a balance of carbohydrates, proteins, and fats. Carbohydrates are your main energy source. Have you ever experienced how you get really tired after an intense ride of an hour and a half or 2 hours or so? This is in part because your body can only store a limited amount of carbohydrates. Once they run out, you feel it. The trick is to eat a balance of complex and simple carbohydrates. Complex carbohydrates take longer to be broken down into the energy your muscles can use. But they also give you a more sustained form of energy. Sources include rice, pasta, beans, whole grains, potatoes, bread, and vegetables. As you see, that's quite a list. The problem is that when you're on a tour and probably on a budget, not all of those are consistently available. Here are a few things I look for when I try to cover my complex carbohydrate needs. Bread can be found almost anywhere. I look for whole grain varieties or whatever local specialties are available where I am. In Mexico, for example, locally made tortillas are great. Some places have traditional kinds of bread like rye and perhaps pumpernickel, just to give a few examples. Making sandwiches is easy to do, even if all you have is a picnic table or even just a guardrail. Pasta is easy to cook in a short amount of time. It is ready in minutes on my alcohol stove. I also like to eat whole grain varieties where they are available. A big bag of elbow macaroni, for example, does not take up much space in your panniers. Beans can be had in cans, pretty much already pre-cooked. They are a great way to enhance your macaroni dish. Chili and macaroni is one of my favorite touring meals. Vegetables not only fill your energy needs, but they also play an important role when it comes to vitamins and minerals. Again, you can find canned varieties to add to your pasta dish. Then you can buy some raw veggies that are suitable for snacks and putting on your sandwich. Salad kits are also practical, as many of them already come with add-ons like dressing and other goodies to mix in. It can be very satisfying to eat some carrots or celery sticks as a snack, and they're usually easy to find wherever you are. Other vegetables will be similarly available. Sometimes you may eat them without any preparation except perhaps a good rinse or peeling. Simple carbs are for more immediate energy. They give you a quick boost, but then you may experience a quick drop once you burn through the calories they supply. The best sources for simple carbohydrates, in my opinion, are fruits. It may not be the best for keeping your load small and light, but I still buy apples by the bag when I'm on tour, as well as bananas by the bunch. Those kinds of fruits and whatever is seasonal and locally available wherever you are also packed with vitamins and minerals. They usually stay good in your bags for a few days, and you can't go wrong consuming them within that time frame. Candies are also simple carbohydrates. See, carbohydrates is basically just a different name for sugar. Problem with candy is that they don't have much to offer besides the sugar itself. Since you need extra energy though, there's nothing wrong with consuming some candy on your tour. You will notice an immediate energy boost. Sometimes you may find a bowl of hard candy at your restaurant or your hotel when you check out. I always try to grab a whole handful that I consume later during my ride. Believe it or not, they've helped me cover some crazy distances in a single day, like upwards of 200 kilometers. Next, let's talk about protein. Intense physical activity will break down muscle tissue. That's why you sometimes feel sore the day after. Waste products are literally in your bloodstream, making you ache. But no worries, your muscles are also stimulated to rebuild themselves, stronger than they were ever before. This is the magic of exercise, and on a bicycle tour, you're getting plenty of that. For this rebuilding process to work, you need a variety of amino acids, also called protein. Those of you who are vegetarians or vegans may not like me very much now because I really have no experience with that type of diet. I tend to get my protein from meat and dairy sources. If you avoid those in your life, please make sure you know what you can effectively replace them with, because you too need protein. My favorite sources to have with me on the bike are canned fish, dry salami, cheese, hard-boiled or pickled eggs, and the occasional protein bar. At home, I always make my own yogurt from skim milk. This is one of the foods I really miss when I'm on the road, but since it requires a fridge, it's not practical, except when you're parked in front of a grocery store. I also like to go for the occasional burger or meat dish when the opportunity presents itself. In Mexico and Central America, for example, many inexpensive eateries offer daily specials that have all the basic food groups, including locally processed meat. They tend to be cheap and nutritious. When you're on tour, they'll taste like the most amazing gourmet dishes. Fast food is also okay on occasion. However, you need to be aware that the ingredients for your McDonald's and similar type value meal have been sourced in a way that ensures maximum profits for those restaurants, not for your benefit. I would try to avoid making those your primary places to eat out. I know this can be tough when you're touring in North America, but often local restaurants are offering great food at only slightly higher prices. Why not go to one of those instead, perhaps every 2 days, instead of going to fast food places daily? we still have to cover fats. Many of us don't like to think of fats because they tend to stick to our bodies, making us look out of shape. However, fats are important as a source of sustained energy and even for vitamin absorption. Of course, if you consume meat and dairy, you inevitably consume fat. But those are not the best kinds of fat. Fat on a piece of meat is that yellowy, white, solid stuff, also known as saturated fat. Eat too much of that and you're running the risk of clogging your arteries. Even fried foods, French fries for example, are full of unhealthy fats. Trans fats are processed fats that have been shown to increase your risk of heart attacks, so it's probably best to limit your intake of those. What you can do instead is something that will definitely become a delicious addition to your snack collection. Trail mix, a mixture of seeds and nuts with some raisins or dried fruit thrown in, is awesome for cycling. It does not go bad, and a single handful has tons of energy and it tastes great. I always have a big bag in my panniers wherever possible. Actually, this is one of the most important staples of my touring diet. Somehow the combination of carbs and fat seems to be just perfect. You can cycle on fat energy alone for hours after your carbohydrate reserves have run out. At first, this will feel like you're done, completely exhausted. But when you cut down your pace a bit at that point and convince yourself to keep going, you will break through a proverbial wall. Suddenly, you will feel like you can go on forever without huge effort. This is when your body is running on fat reserves. The bonus, this is a fantastic way to burn excess body fat. Also part of a proper nutrition is hydration. I think every cyclist pretty much knows about the need to carry enough water. Water is the base for hydration, so drink it frequently. In hot climate or on especially intense rides, water alone is not enough though. When you sweat, you lose minerals. That's where all the other foods I told you about come in, but even that may not be enough. The easy way to replenish electrolytes is to go for electrolyte drinks. Gatorade is an example. They definitely work and they will also give you a boost of energy due to high sugar content. Electrolyte tablets you can dissolve in water are probably a step up from that. You can carry those on your bike. Mind you, they're not exactly cheap. Or perhaps I haven't found the best deal on them yet. Leave me a comment if you have a favorite one that is also budget friendly. When Barbara and I toured Colombia, we found another trick for hydration. Colombians like to eat soup with their meal. It usually consists of a bone with some lean meat on it, some potatoes and vegetables, and of course, a lot of mildly salty water. This is what the locals do for hydration, even those that work outdoors all day in 35-degree heat. You can be assured that it makes a difference and you can really get used to the taste. I like to add some hot sauce to mine and it is heaven, especially after a long ride in the heat. Okay, this was a lot of information for one video, so let's summarize it. You need 3 basic types of nutrients: carbohydrates, proteins, and fats. By ensuring you pick high quality ones like some of the examples I've given, you also cover your need for trace elements such as vitamins and minerals. You need to be intentional and mindful about nutrition, especially while on tour, because what you're used to at home will likely not be available. Make it a game to find suitable replacements. If you're ever feeling really depleted, take a day off from cycling and treat yourself to a big, delicious meal. Maybe visit an all-you-can-eat buffet. You'll likely go straight to the foods that contain whatever you need. We are naturally programmed that way. Last but not least, make sure you're properly hydrated. One tip: drink when you're thirsty. Very simple, but not always on our mind when in the middle of a ride. When you go pee, check the color of your urine. It can tell you a lot about your hydration level. Dark yellow means you need more liquids. I hope you found this video helpful. If so, you should really hit the like button. Wink wink. Of course, I don't have all the answers. Your comments are always welcome. We can all use another trick or two up our sleeves. That's why I share my bicycle touring adventures. There are more videos on the screen right now. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you soon. Boom!